The Cabinet Secretary explained when the subdivision of the Sindh sub-county was being ascertained, considering that all other identified subdivisions of sub-counties in Meru County have already been ascertained. 3. When will the new Deputy County Commissioner for the new Kiengo sub-county be posted to the sub-county headquarters for enhancement of service and delivery? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security. Next question is by the member for Luanda, the Honorable Chris Omulele. Can you give him the next one? The one where he is. I don't put it here.
Sorry, Speaker. Thank you for this opportunity. I rise to ask question number 109 of 2022 to the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Roman 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why construction of a Mululu Technical Training Institute in Luanda constituency has not commenced despite being allocated funds during the financial year 2021-2022. 2, could the Cabinet Secretary state the amount that was earmarked and utilized on the pre-design phase of the Institute, if any, during the financial year 2021-2022? And 3, what has caused the inordinate delay in the initiation of the project works on the TTI, and when will the construction works commence? Thank you, Speaker.
The question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education and National and Research. Final question is by the member for Teso North, Honorable Kaunya. You don't have a card?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask a question to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. Roman 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why the renovation of Malaba Railway Station and construction of Malaba Railway Container Depot has stalled nearly a month despite having been funded? Number 2, could the Cabinet Secretary explain challenges faced by the contractor who has since abandoned the site and has failed to meet his contractual obligations on the said projects, including the payment of dues to casual laborers who have not been paid to date? Roman 3, what steps is the ministry taking to ensure that the construction of the station and depot are completed soon as possible, considering its importance in boosting transport network and improving the economy of the region? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. Next segment is on statements, and today there is a response from the Chairman, Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations, to the request by the member, Honorable Suleika Hassan, Kwale County member. Chair, Defense and Foreign Relations, Honorable Richard Tongi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I rise to issue a statement to the House regarding the repatriation of Kenyans stranded in Ukraine, as requested by Honorable Suleika Hassan, MP Kwale County, on Thursday of the 24th February 2022. Honorable Speaker, the matter might seem to have taken a little longer than it should have been, but this is because of the nature of the responses which were required, which required quite a lot of engagement and involving other countries so that we can get a more and most appropriate response to that question which was asked, Honorable Speaker. Even as I table the response as received, appended to this statement, allow me to give the House a brief history of what has happened in Ukraine, Honorable Speaker, to the best of our knowledge. On the 24th of February, the Russian Federation invaded Ukraine in violation of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Kenya, along with other countries, strongly condemned the invasion at the United Nations Security Council. The escalated conflict and tension in Ukraine resulting from attacks by Russian military forces led to the exodus of millions of people, including Kenyans, Honorable Speaker, who are living in the country. Kenya does not have a residence mission in Ukraine. However, Kenya Embassy is being served by Vienna, Australia, and Ukraine is being accredited by one of our honorary consular, Honorable Speaker. It's estimated that there are about 201 Kenyans in Ukraine, out of whom 187, mainly students, are registered, and the rest are not documented, Honorable Speaker. The question was, number one, is the national government considering urgent repatriation of Kenyans caught in Russian invasion of Ukraine back to Kenya? And if so, within what time frames shall this happen? The Minister of Foreign Affairs facilitated the urgent evacuation of Kenyans caught in the Russian invasion, Honorable Speaker. At the onset, the Ministry and the Kenya Embassy, Vienna, issued an advisory to all Kenyans living and studying in Ukraine to urgently consider leaving the country. Kenya Embassy in Vienna, Berlin, and Moscow, alongside the consular in Kyiv, mobilized support for safe passage of Kenyans to neighboring countries, Honorable Speaker. The consular in Ukraine has been providing leadership and guidance to Kenyans on the travel logistics between Ukraine cities and neighboring countries of Poland, Hungary, Romania, Germany, and many other countries in the neighborhood. And he organized transport, Honorable Speaker, alongside with the local authorities for all Kenyans who are willing to be evacuated from Ukraine between the 24th of February and 1st of March. On 8 March 2022, 26 Kenyans, students and family of three who were stranded and were blocked and were unable to move, Honorable Speaker, the Russian military and the Russian government made provision and they provided a safe exit, which helped quite a lot, Honorable Speaker. There was a WhatsApp group which was initiated called Kenya Evacuation, and it is helped to coordinate the students and those who are willing to move so that they will be able to share the notes and experiences for purposes of safety and ensuring that they are moving without endangering their lives and the lives of their loved ones. The Ministry and Kenyan Embassy in Vienna has reached out to families of Kenyans who are affected, and the Honorable Speaker, the Ministry reports as follows. The people who have been moved to Kenya, or Kenyans who have been moved from Ukraine to Kenya, are 37 in number. Those who are moved to Poland are 70. Those who are moved to Germany are 7. Those who are moved to Hungary are 18. Those who are moved to Slovakia Republic are 2. Romania 2. Belgium 2. Ukraine do not want to leave. There are some who are actually not willing to leave Ukraine for whatever reasons, Honorable Speaker. So there are about 6 of them who have not been accounted for. So we believe they have chosen to stay because all the options were available at their disposal to use the avenue which were created by the Ministry and the Government of Kenya. The Ministry and the Kenyan Embassy, Vienna, continues to reach out to the students and parents of those who were affected, and we are hoping that by end of this month we should be able to have all of them cleared. Question number 2, Honorable Speaker. In lieu of repatriation, could the national government consider relocating these citizens to several regions within Ukraine, or more peaceful regions that neighbor Ukraine? And the answer to that, Honorable Speaker, is yes. The Ministry has already initiated the process, and quite a number of them have actually been moved out. Kenyans who are currently in the border states of Ukraine are being accommodated at the university hostels. temporary shelters provided by aid agencies and churches, while some are staying with relatives and friends and well-wishers. The Ministry and the Kenyan Embassy in Vienna, Berlin, and Moscow continue to liaise with host government, international organizations such as International Organization for Migration and the Kenya Community Organization for Sustainable Provision of Humanitarian Assistance, which is required for our people to be safe. This includes food, clothing, shelter, and affected Kenyans are being, of course, encouraged. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, all Kenyans who are willing to be evacuated out of Ukraine after the Russian invasion are out of danger, safely back home in Kenya or in state neighboring Ukraine. Number two, over 30 Kenyans are back in Kenya, and a number are expected back home by 18th of March, which is already passed, Honorable Speaker. So as we speak, there are many more Kenyans who are here. Several Kenyans have indicated that they are willing to continue with their studies at the European states, which have similar syllabus and systems of education with Ukraine, so that they can pursue their studies. Number three, the ministry continues to monitor the situation of Kenya in the border countries of Ukraine with a view of providing necessary support. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is the synopsis of the response that I hereby submit to the entire report as received from the ministry. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much.
Member for Kwale, you find the response to your request.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to say that the response is accurate and what we expected, and what was reported is what was done. And I just want to use this opportunity to commend very highly the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for having done such a great job. As soon as they were called upon, they stepped into action to make sure that these Kenyan students were evacuated. Together with many other Kenyans who were affected directly and indirectly, as well as Honorable Omar Mwinyi here. His daughter was in Ukraine at the time the war started. We felt very proud to be Kenyans. And we were very happy with the way the Kenyan government was able to respond. They quickly organized all their networks that were on the ground. They also made sure that they wrote letters urgently to the neighboring countries like Poland to make sure that Kenyans had access to the countries, were allowed to enter into those countries. And they also made sure that the students were safe in the other countries as they prepared to come back to Kenya. Just one or two maybe recommendations for future is that all Kenyan embassies around the world should be prepared for such eventualities, and they should have readily available, at the snap of the fingers, some ground support to be able to evacuate students or workers or any Kenyan who's in that country, to be able to provide food and emergency healthcare as need be. But otherwise, I want to say thank you very much to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They should keep it up, because previously the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have been mentioned badly in such instances. So I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And well done.
Very well. Thank you. There was a promise and an undertaking by the leader of majority yesterday that there will be the statement, but the person who requested the statement is not the Honorable Gladwell Cheriot. Tungo. Tungo.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's a crime to Mr. Honorable Chungwa to misspell my name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And on the onset, I want to put my apologies on the floor of the House for not being able to bring the statement yesterday as promised last week. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have, on behalf of the Chair of the Energy Committee, a written statement that was sent to us by the CS, who is not available, and we were not able to sit, and that brought about the complication that we were not able to really bring a statement yesterday. Mr. Speaker, as you have understood me right, thank you for accepting my apologies. The statement goes like this. The statement is in response to questions raised by Honorable Aden Duale, MP, the Member of Parliament for Garissa Township constituency, and pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order number 442C. In particular, the Honorable Member requested for a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Energy, regarding the fuel crisis shortage across the country as a result of the delayed subsidy payment to oil marketing companies. He raised the issues as follows. 1, the person to provide the total number of oil marketing companies, that is OMC, petroleum dealers, and small oil dealers, their network distribution across the country, and the percentage shares of the market in the country. Background. 1A, the Kenya relies on refined petroleum products imported through 2 import terminals, that is Kipevu Oil Terminal and Shamanzi Oil Terminal, to satisfy the demand for both the local and transit markets. B, petroleum products imported in the country are procured through the open tender system, that is OTS, which allows for equitable sharing of the common user facilities amongst the eligible oil marketing companies. The OMCs thereby enhancing competition in the importation process. C, there are currently 106 licensed oil marketing companies who participate in OTS process as their buyers, as either buyers or sellers. All the licensed OMCs are eligible to participate as sellers and supply petroleum products. 2, market share by OMC. And OMCs, for those who have forgotten, is oil marketing companies. In the calendar year 2021, approximately 432.86 cubic meters of diesel and 3,445,117.12 cubic meters of super petrol and 1,069,592.95 cubic meters of dual purpose kerosene was imported in the country. E, in the same year, approximately 2,693,499.148 cubic meters of diesel, 643,797,428 cubic meters of jet oil, 143,361,126 cubic meters of kerosene and were imported, and 2,137,745.516 cubic meters of super petrol was consumed locally. The share of locally consumed product by marketer is as shown in the table below. The oil marketing company and the percentage market share. Vivo Energy Kenya Limited has 22.8%. Total Energies Marketing Kenya PLC has 17.4%. Rubis Kenya PLC has 9.6%. Ola Kenya Limited has 6.8%. Oryx Energies Kenya Limited 4.1%. B Energy Limited 2.8%. Tosha Petroleum Kenya Limited 2.6%. Fossil Supplies Limited 2.5%. Petro Oil Kenya Limited 2.3%. Gala Oil Limited 2.2%. Haas Petroleum Kenya Limited 2.1%. Gulf Energy Holdings Limited 1.8%, National Oil Corporation of Kenya 1.8%, Gapco Kenya Limited 1.8%, Toba Petroleum Kenya Limited 1.4%, Lexo Energy Kenya Limited 1.3%, Lake Oil Limited 1.3%, One Petroleum Limited 1.1%, Independent Petroleum Group Kenya Limited 1%, and then others, Mr. Speaker, 13.3%. G, in the current supply chain, independents, also known as resellers, are supplied with product by the listed oil marketing companies. The distribution of retail stations across the counties by marketer is as shown below. Marketer, then number of stations. Those ones which are independents, Mr. Speaker, sir, the number of stations they supply is 2,934. Vivo Energy Kenya Limited supplied 257 stations. Rubis Kenya supplied to 242 stations. Total Energies PLC, they supplied to 225 stations. NOC, which is National Oil Corporation Kenya, supply 111. Ola Energy, 107 stations. Lake Oil Limited, 49 stations. Lexo Energy Kenya Limited, 39 stations. Has Petroleum Kenya Limited, 38 stations. Petro Oil Kenya Limited, 33 stations. Gala Oil Kenya Limited, 31 stations. River Petroleum Dealers Limited, 26 stations. B Energy Kenya Limited, 15 stations. Mogas Kenya Limited, 14 stations. Petro City Enterprises, 14. Tosha Petroleum Kenya Limited, 12. Ainu Shamisi Energy Limited, 12. Oilcom Kenya Limited, 11. Astro, 11. Starbucks International, 9. Blue Sky Energy, 8. Lukewarm Petroleum Limited, 8. Oryx Energies, 8. Hela Petroleum, 7. After Petroleum Kenya Limited, 7. Texas Energy Limited, 6 stations. Regno Oil Limited, 6 stations. Eagle, 5 stations. Leadway Petroleum, 4 stations. Eled Oil Petroleum, 4 stations. Bushra Energy, 4. Bachulao, 4 stations. Wells Oil Limited, 3 stations. The list continues. Costalina Energy, 2. Olympic Petroleum Limited, 2. Petro Kenya, 1. OMC, 1. Grand total, 4,270 petrol stations. H, the distribution of retail stations by county are shown below. Nairobi County, number of stations, 324. Nakuru County, 230. Kiambu County, 208. Uasin Gishu County, 181. Meru County, 173 stations. Machakos County, 165 stations. Kakamega County, 139. Mombasa County, 138. Bungoma County, 136 stations. Kilifi County, 135 stations. Kisii County, 122 stations. Trans Nzoia County, 119 stations. Kajiado County, 117 stations. Kirinyaga County, 112 stations. Kisumu County, 107 stations. Moranga, 106. Kitui, 93. Homa Bay County, 96. Kericho County, 92. Nandi County, 92. Migori County, 91. Siaya County, 91. Makueni County, 91 stations. Bomet County, 90. Busia County, 84 stations. Embu County, 81 stations, Mr. Speaker. Narok County, 81 stations. Nyeri County, 75 stations. Nyamira County, 69 stations. Laikipia County, 67 stations. Kwale County, 56 stations. Tharaka Nithi County, 54 stations. Nyandarua County, 53 stations. Vihiga County, 52 stations. Elgeyo Marakwet County, 49 stations. Turkana County, 40 stations. Baringo County, 40 stations. Taita Taveta County, 39 stations. West Pokot County, 35. Lamu, 30. Tana River, 21. Wajir, 20. Marsabit, 19. Samburu, 17. Garissa County, 17 stations. Isiolo County, 12 stations. Mandera, 11. Total, 4,270 stations. Roman 2, could the person provide the total amount of money collected under the fuel levy fund from September 2021 to date? Mr. Speaker, in July 2020, the petroleum levy for super petrol and diesel was increased from Kenya shillings 0.40 to Kenya shillings 5.40 via legal notice number 124 of 2020, with the objective of creating a petroleum pump price stabilization fund, among other functions. The escalating prices, Mr. Speaker, of petroleum in the global markets post-COVID-19 recovery period caused the fund to be used in stabilization of prices beginning from the April-May 2021 pricing cycle. The National Treasury is in charge of collection of the fund and is the ideal entity to avail data on the amounts collected. Roman 3. Could the chairperson provide a breakdown of this reimbursement levy per month from September 2021 to date, and reimbursement due to be paid to the oil marketing companies, OMC, petroleum dealers, and small oil dealers? The following table shows the total amounts paid for stabilization of fuel pump prices from April-May 2021 cycle to date. Mr. Speaker, the table below, that is, has pricing per month, stabilization amounts in shillings, the amount paid, and the variance. 15 to 14 May 2021, there was 1,448,818,516.2 cents. Amount paid was the same, that is 1,448,818,516.20. Variance remained to be 0. On 15 May to 14 June 2021, Mr. Speaker, stabilization amounts paid was 190,990,400.25. And amount paid is the same, Mr. Speaker, 190,990,404.25. The variance, Mr. Speaker, again is 0. Mr. Speaker, unless you guide, I realize that the table will show stabilization of amounts, an amount paid to be the same and variance to be 0 in the whole table for the whole months up to February 2022, unless you guide that I have to read all the figures. But the only one, Mr. Speaker, that has some variance is in the month of February 15th date to 14th March 2022, where 8 billion was paid, 8,424,318,090.26 was the amount, and the amount paid was 2,428,911,336.35, where the variance now here is 5,995,406,754.27. Mr. Speaker, the next one is on 15 March to 14 April 2022. Mr. Speaker, the amount was 8,527,301,592.84. Amount paid, Mr. Speaker, here was 0. And the variance remained to be the same, 8,527,301,592.84. Total outstanding, Mr. Speaker, in the variance and paid money is 14,522,708,347.11. Mr. Speaker, this is the total stabilization amount, and before that, stabilization paid by the government to OMCs was 117,167,49. And so, Mr. Speaker, the total stabilization amount payable is 49,164,825,514.60. Mr. Speaker, as you may note from the table above, the government has compensated total of 34 Kenya shillings 34,642,117,167.49 from the Petroleum Development Levy, that is PDL Kitty. The total stabilization cost that the government has committed in writing to pay oil marketing companies from April to May 2021 to March, April 2022 is Kenya shillings 49,164,825,514.60, of which Kenya shillings 34,642,117,167.49 has been paid, including 8.2 billion paid on Monday, 4th April 2022. Today, the total outstanding amount owed to OMC, that is oil marketing companies, is 14,522,708,347.11 and is committed to be paid before the next pricing cycle. Roman 4. Could the chairperson explain the measures put in place by the government to curb fuel crisis in the country? Mr. Speaker, the answer given here is the country has adequate stocks to cater for both local and additional regional demand. As of today, we have adequate stocks in Kenya pipeline system and ships waiting to discharge additional products. The table below shows the stock holding in all Kenya pipeline companies, KBC, depots, and the ships that are waiting to discharge in the next 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, physical stock position of Kenya Pipeline Company deposits on 06/04/2022 at 00 hours is as follows. Physical stock position at KPC depots on 6 April 2022. Station JKIA by volume cubic meters and the days. Nairobi, the cubic meters available in 17 days. In 17 days is 52,604. That is in Nakuru, Mr. Speaker, we have 3,095 for 2 days, Kerosene, Mr. Speaker, is 1,861 cubic meters in 48 days. Ergo, that is 10,114 in 8 days. Nakuru, Eldoret, sorry, the stock days are 3. The cubic volumes is 8,944. The kerosene is 1,269 days. And then, Mr. Speaker, jet had 141 in 0 days. There was no other stock. Kisumu, 7,274 in 4 days. MIA, Mr. Speaker, the PS12 here, the station, yes, it has 57,842 cubic meters in 6 days. Yeah, only 6. And then KOSF stocks was only 46,415 cubic meters in 5 days. KPRL stocks of 18 days, 5 days for 6,415. Global, that is KPC now. It had 176,179 cubic meters in 18 days. Mr. Speaker, these cubic meters were shown on 6th of April 2022, noting that today is on 13th, to not show exactly what could be happening today. Mr. Speaker, vessels scheduled to berth in the next 2 weeks, grade and nominated volume, cubic volumes, vessel name, import type, remarks. PMS, 61,277 cubic meters, that is Mount Sloan Square. And import type is PMS KO5/22 Asharami. Remarks, discharging. The Ergo, Mr. Speaker, is 108,527 cubic meters. Mount, that is the vessel, is Mount Front Cheetah. Ergo, that is the import type, SO8/2022, that is Oryx, that is the company. That time it was to berth the next day. Jet A1, the nominated volumes was 107,843. The vessel name is Mount Swarma, that is Jayanti. The type of import is Jet A1, KO5/2022, Oryx, that was to berth on 10th. PMS is the volumes were 120,934 cubic meters, and the vessel name is Mount Rong Ling 1. Import type is PMS K06/2022 Asharami, and it was to berth on 15th. That is a day after tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, as with regard to compensation, we are working with National Treasury to fast-track the payment of the oil marketing companies within the stipulated timelines without delays. Mr. Speaker, the 5th one is Roman. Could the chairperson explain plans put in place by the government to ensure that petroleum dealers make the current situation as short and unrestrictive as possible? We have engaged with both Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Pipeline Company, and oil marketing companies to load extra hours, including truck loadings over the weekend, to ensure that all the stations are stocked. Roman 6, Could the person explain why the National Treasury had stalled the processing of the petroleum products, that is taxes, levies, that's Amendment Bill 2021? The answer given, Mr. Speaker, by the CS is we are not aware of the petroleum products, that is taxes and levies, Amendment Bill 2021, and the National Treasury would be a better placed position to explain. Roman 7. Could the chairperson explain the position of the government on the inadequacy of fuel in the country and the contingent measures put in place by the government in the case of a prolonged Russia-Ukraine crisis? As you are aware, Mr. Speaker, Kenya Ports Authority has constructed a new jetty referred to as Kipevu Oil Terminal, that is COT 2. Completion of the jetty requires connection to the existing tanks at the Kipevu Oil Storage Facility, that is KOSF. The requirement necessitated the commissioning of the tanks of Kipevu Oil Storage Facility and were therefore not in use. In this regard, it was therefore inevitable to discharge a ship in one go, making it difficult for Kenya Pipeline Company to distribute products in line with the demand requirements. It's, however, worth noting that both Kenya Pipeline and Kenya Ports Authority are in their final stages of commissioning the new jetty of Kipevu 2. Actions from the Ministry of Petroleum. 1. Mr. Speaker, they are enforcing the selling of petroleum products to oil sellers to ensure that independent oil dealers access products and sell at the prevailing pump price. Number 2, relocating of capacity of OMCs who are selling to the local market by removing the capacity from those that declared them as transit. And 3, there is a spike in demand, and we are working with oil marketing companies to ensure that we schedule additional imports to cater for the shortfall. With regard to the petition raised by the Secretary General of the Consumer Federation of Kenya, Mr. Stephen Mutoro, attached, please find our response to as shared with the Clerk of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I am going to talk on behalf of the Chair of Energy Committee and say that, Mr. Speaker, we have received this written report. We have not met with the CS to really sit with him and interrogate this report. We are looking forward to again continue to seek for a date and reschedule to meet him so that, Mr. Speaker, basing on this report we are reading here, we may not be in a very good position to defend some of the answers she has given. And, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is prudent that the members know that the report has been written and we have not sat with the CS to be able to really come up with the right answers to this crisis. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, honourable members. In view of what I can see, the Honourable Richard Nyaga Katongi is walking away. Let me rearrange so that we will revisit. We'll go back to this, but allow me to clear some issues here, which require quorum. Because I'm sure. Yeah, we now have. We now have. I've been counting, even with the absence of the Honourable Nyaga Katongi. But I want to. Yes, we want to. Let's just clear this bit before we go to because I know it will take some little bit more time on this, and I can see a number who are going to go out very soon. When you see me looking at you, don't think I am just trying to identify those who appear like they could walk out especially around there. And I know those ones who sit there, the ones who sit, they don't like coming in front. I don't know why. So, oh yes, except the Honorable Danita Gatti and the Honorable Tim Wanyonyi. So, Honour members, allow me to rearrange so that we can clear the bit on the order number 8 and number 9. Proceed, Clerk.
Order number 8, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2020. Question to be put and third reading.
Oh, we have. Yeah, Honour members, let's just, can Sergeant at Arms just confirm that yes, there are some you can't see, whom I'm able to see from here.
What do you think we pay you for?
Just bring those that are relaxing out there. Now we have. Very well. Now we. Oh, the ones who are coming in are also coming in and going out. Let's wait for the member for. Is that the member for Narok South or Gatanga? The member for Narok South, is it? Member for La? Oh, member for Lafe. So honor members, including the Honorable Jennifer Shamala, honor members, let's just clear this business. You completed consideration of this business in the committee of the whole House, and therefore I put the question, which is that this House do agree with the report of the committee of the whole House on its consideration of the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2020. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yeah. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2020, be now read a third time. I also request Honorable Abdul Karim Osman to second. Thank you.
Member for Fafi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I second.
Oh, I see. You seconded and nothing more useful to hand. Other members, I therefore propose a question, which is that the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2020, be now read at that time. I therefore put the question on our members, having confirmed that we still quote that the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 22 of 2020, be now read at that time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the establishment of the Coffee Board of Kenya and the Coffee Research Institute, to provide for the role of the national and county governments, to provide for the regulation, development, and promotion of coffee industry, and for connected purposes.
Next.
Order number 10, order number 9, the Huduma Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2021, second reading, question to be put.
Members, again, the record shows that debate on this bill was concluded this morning and on the morning sitting. What remained was for the question to be put, which I hereby do, that the Huduma Bill, National Assembly Bill number 57 of 2021, be read a second time. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for a primary law on civil registration and legal identification management, establishment of the National Integrated Identity Management System, provide for the enrollment into NIMS, assigning of the Huduma number, and issuance of legal identity documents, facilitate the registration of births and deaths, promote the efficient delivery of public services, and for connected purposes.
Very well. Yes, what's your point of order now? Honorable Ishongwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I rise on standing order number 124, Honorable Speaker, in relation to business listed on the order paper as order number 9, which you've just concluded, and order number 10-2, Honorable Speaker, and without preempting Honorable Speaker, we have just finished with the second reading. If you can protect me from the loud noise from the leader of majority, Honorable Speaker. And he has this habit of shouting at people while they are addressing the Speaker, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I said on standing order number 124, Honorable Speaker, you know, we cannot within the same sitting, except, of course, as has been rightly put on page 603 of the order paper, with the leave of the House, move to a third stage, from the second to the third stage of a bill without leave of the House, Honorable Speaker. And I was just begging your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, because we have now changed the order of business, Honorable Speaker, that even at the time we seek to have leave of the House, Honorable Speaker, that we would want to object to having that leave of the House, Honorable Speaker, and I do believe many members would want to have amendments to this particular bill. And a bill whose debate was concluded only at around 1 p.m., the question has just been put, Honorable Speaker. It is not fair to Kenyans and even to us as legislators to rush us. And there is nothing to rush into on this Huduma bill unless there is something sinister. Honorable Speaker, I would beg to ask either the leader of majority withdraws this, Honorable Speaker, now that we are already heading there, or according to standing order number 124, Honorable Speaker, has read together with standing order number 2, that I get the support of at least 5 members to object to getting the leave of the House on that particular bill, Honorable Speaker, so that we have time to be able to look into all issues that we may want to amend, Honorable Speaker. And you know, Honorable Speaker, again in line with Standing Order 131, there may be many amendments that may also need to go back to the committee for consideration and it is not fair, and it is not proper legislation, Honorable Speaker, to be rushing some of these things, Honorable Speaker. And I think, Honorable Speaker, I have more than enough.
Well, Honourable members, I imagine the members standing are the ones in support of the Honourable Kimani Ichung'wah, that we do not move to consideration of the Huduma bill shown in order number 10, and it's very clearly indicated on the other paper that is with the leave of the House. So your being upstanding is to indicate that you are refusing.
Yes.
You therefore deny that leave. Automatically, then that business will be taken out from will not be considered, will not be proceeded with.
Thank you,
And I
Speaker.
think also, let us be fair also, because debate just ended this morning, I think it's fair that we allow members sufficient time, those who have amendments. And let me just say, I myself have received written representations, and I think it's much neater if we don't rush, so that all points of views are canvassed. Because I've seen letters which have been written to the Speaker, and I don't deal with it. There's no way I can respond to them because I'm not the one responsible. So that the committee will have an opportunity to also consider some of those representations that have come. And given also that it has been reported to me that there are very few of you who contributed to this bill, even in the morning. 7 of you. 7. 4 members. Yes, so 4 members did the whole morning. Yes, Honorable Dwele.
Mr. Speaker, this bill is very, very important, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I stand on Standing Order 133-2. And Mr. Speaker, this standing order allows members to give notice of amendments 24 hours before the Committee of the Whole House. Speaker, where a bill is read a second time on the same day, proceeds to committee, it violates, Mr. Speaker, and let me say it violates Standing Order 132 and limits the right of members to propose amendments to a bill. Speaker, even if we are coming at the tail end of this Tolof Parliament, so Speaker, don't allow our rights to be curtailed. I really want to indulge you. This bill is so important, and we can rush it the way we rushed BBI. And you know what the fate of the BBI. We can rush this bill, and then, and I can speak from experience, that there are many times we went to court and our litigation department really faced the issue of due process and that. So I really want to ask you, Mr. Speaker, that this bill is given due consideration. This bill even goes through the Standing Order 131 on winnowing, so that we get a complete bill that befits. Mr. Speaker, members don't know. This bill is deleting the whole immigration department. It is, Mr. Speaker. I'm talking from the bill. We can't talk about amendments. We have not reached the Committee of the Whole House. On the face of it, this bill is completely changing the whole registration citizenship. Speaker, some of us come from areas that border other countries. Our people have been victims, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, today as we talk, the whole immigration in Nyaya House is going to be completely a different institution if this bill passes the way it is. So, Mr. Speaker, I really want to indulge you that you give us time, we go do amendments, and we can deal with the Committee of the Whole House when we resume after 3 weeks, Mr. Speaker. We really want to ask you, why are we in a hurry? We agreed with the election laws. Mr. Speaker, there are better issues this House can deal with, like fuel, like the budget, like the finance bill. The Speaker, members sitting here come from constituents, Honorable Abdul Karim, Honorable Fatuma Gedi, who was the vice chair. And I've just told her, when the rubber meets the road, Fatuma Gedi, my good sister, you stand with the people of Wajir. Forget about the vice chair of security. Forget about the government that you purport. Stand with your people. This bill, Fatuma, is bad for our people. It's bad for those who come from border. This bill is bad for the immigration department, which is run very well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honour members, I know it's towards the tail end of the 12th Parliament, but let's not just allow all manner of things to happen. If you don't like something that somebody is saying, just press your intervention button, so that then I give you a chance to say what you don't like, what you want to say. Honourable Wenebaya.
Okay. On the same standing orders espoused by Honourable Duale, this bill, if passed, locks out all the stateless people in this country, that they will never belong to the Kenyan state. And for that purpose, I think we need time so that we are able to bring the amendments to include the stateless people. There are very many. There are over 10 stateless communities in this country. And this bill, if passed by this House, the way it is, will lock out the Peba, will lock out the Shona, will lock out the Makonde, will lock out the Wata, it will lock out even the Malakote. Everybody that is stateless will be locked out and can never belong to this state of this country and will never achieve or be given services as this bill pertains to say. So, Mr. Speaker, as this bill tries to withdraw the identity card and brings in the Huduma number, we would like at that level, even the stateless people in this country, be included and be part of the citizenship of this country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let me just find out, because I'm surprised that the chairman of the committee that dealt with the bill is just relaxing. He's on his phone. I don't know whether he's reading messages from, is it from some admirers out there in the village, or is it about messages that are being sent about the bill? Because I expected the chairman of the committee to be the one telling us, no, we have done this and this and this, so that, member, you can even, through the information you give, Honorable Mwadhi, you could actually array the fears, any fears that anybody may be having. Perhaps, Honorable Mwadhi, let me just give you the chance, because I'm sure you know everything about the bill. No, Honorable Ishongwa. Honorable Ishongwa, let's allow the Honorable Mwadhi to, maybe what he's going to like to tell us could actually allay any fears that anybody may be having. Honorable Mwadhi, please.
Give me the mic. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Speaker, I am listening to those who are asking. The leave of the House, honestly, yes, that we can accept. But in terms of what the bill seeks to do, the committee has done thorough work. It has done a report. It has even recommended for amendments which are in line with what I'm listening. So, and the report was tabled long time ago. So if members wanted to add some more amendments from that report, then they should have done so. So I think all this is just, Honorable Speaker, the point is that the amendments are there. The bill was published long time. It has been in existence. It has appeared in the order paper for a long time. It's just a matter of wasting time. And I think this House, Honorable Speaker, is duty bound to do its work without having to wait for 3 weeks. People are asking for 3 weeks. It has been on the order paper for more than 3 weeks. Honorable Speaker, I think it behoves of you to give direction to this House, especially regarding whether we should stop business because some people have not read. If they haven't, let those who have read deal with the matter. But Honorable Speaker, I laid a report here. The bill has been there. The amendments by the committee are even speaking to what the matters, especially of stateless. It is us who picked the issue of stateless. I dealt with his stateless people. And I have a report and recommendation which I was very happy about. We have put it in the report of the committee. and now he wants to bring amendments. I don't know whether you even know what the committee has put as amendments for stateless people. So let them read the report tonight, and we can process the bill as soon as possible. But you can't ask for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks for people who have not read, Honorable Speaker. If people have been in the campaign trail, let them know I have been sitting here, and you know it, Honorable Speaker. Every time I'm required to be here, I am here so that I can deal with business, and I also have politics to deal with. So I take this business here, Honorable Speaker. The business of this House, I take it as first priority. And then I do the rest things. Because, yes, because this is for the people of Limuru. Exactly. What I'm doing here is to ensure that the people of Limuru and indeed the people of Kenya get services smoothly. That is why this bill is going to help Kenyans. And if you want to curtail the passage of the bill, you're actually curtailing what the people of Kenya should get. You should be persuaded.
Very well. Honourable members. That is why I needed to hear the chair of the committee. Except, of course, it is only fair that since I'm the chairman of the House Business Committee, I also have a duty to tell the House the truth. That actually we put this bill on the order paper so as to force the committee to know that we need this bill here. And on a number of occasions, you are next to the leader of majority and the majority whip. They know, because I'm the chairman. The Honorable Sotsi is a member of the committee. It is good when you open your mouth, especially when I'm on the chair. Please be careful, because fortunately for me, I have my facts on my fingertips. We have been keeping this bill. We are putting this bill on the order paper, so as to force you, the committee, to move with speed. I'm happy that actually you did that. What we set out to achieve as House Business Committee has been achieved, because we set out to make sure that we force you to move with speed, which you did. So we succeeded as House Business Committee. However, Honorable Mwadi, I think it is not right to say that we need to move now with lightning speed merely because we have moved with this. I don't even know how it happened that it was being proposed that you proceed to committee of the whole House. It is not fair. This was not fair. If debate concluded at 1 or the morning sitting, to put the bill now in the order paper for committee of the whole House, obviously what was going to happen is several members will not have had the opportunity to propose amendments, including amendments that could easily agree with the ones you have proposed. You see, because you have proposed amendments, but members, this document, this supplementary order paper was prepared just this afternoon. It was prepared this afternoon because debate ended in the morning sitting. So, you see, obviously, we were going to take several members, and let's be fair, we are going to take several members by surprise. It may well be, Honorable Mwadi, as you say, that you captured the issues raised by the Honorable Owen Baya, and maybe several other issues other members are raising. But you see, nobody has had the time now to go through and perhaps agree or disagree with your proposed amendments. Honorable Mwadi.
Honorable Speaker, for avoidance of doubt, let me be clear that I said if the leave of the House is denied to deal with committee of this, the whole House today, I have no problem.
It was denied. That one was denied.
And I have no problem. The only thing is the one I have a problem with is saying that they need time. I don't know whether to go through what people are debating, or is it to read the report, which I laid last week. It has been there. It is not today. The bill has been there, Honorable Speaker. The report was done. That report in itself contains the amendments which are speaking to some of the issues which are raised. Now, the issue is what time do we require? If I laid the report last week, what time do we require then for members to read a report that is that size? And yes, they are contained therein. The amendments for the committee are contained in that report, which I tabled. And the bill itself, like you have rightly said, has been in the order paper for a long time, meaning that they have read the principal bill, that proposal, and then they have read the report together with our amendment. At that point, I'm sure members should have started suggesting which amendments to make. So if I put I laid the report, can you protect me, Honorable Speaker, from the shouting member for Kikuyu? He keeps on shouting. I don't know, and heckling. I don't know why he must heckle. And Honorable Speaker, I don't know why you give him so much latitude. You should let me discuss the issue. If you're not happy, you can take your space. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm asking, if I laid the report last week, what further time do we require? It's been a week already, and that report, as I said, and I want to repeat again, that it has the amendments proposed by the committee. So is it that the members have not read the report? And I think you need to give direction without having to listen to people who just want to delay some process.
Let me even the Honorable Diana Molo has a point of order. Looks like again you're on a mic that, sorry, mic is not.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Speaker, my point first is that, and I was here this morning when we had the debate on the bill, and there are members, like now shouting the highest, like the Honorable Sankok, who supported the bill wholeheartedly. All of them. And praised it and did everything. Honorable Baya, please. Yes. Now, they are the ones now shouting in the presence of others who are not here as if debate was curtailed. And in all honesty, debate was not curtailed. So the first point, Mr. Speaker, is to give you a direction. Do we kill the processes merely because there are members who are absent who feel that they were not heard? Because everything that I'm hearing is not so much about process, it's about the content, and they were not here. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, is your direction in terms of how to determine the leave of the House. Where something needs to be done with the leave of the House, is it determined by majority or minority? Because only 7 people I saw stand to support that idea. So, because the rules have always been, of course, is it to be determined that leaves mean unanimity of everyone, so that if it's objected by one person, it cannot move? Because unless that is the Honorable Ichungwa is really behaving as if he's in a marketplace. We were all quiet when he was speaking, and he's a ranking member. He should surely allow others to speak, because if you are right, your point will sail through. You don't have to shout. So my point, Honorable Speaker, is do we determine leave of the House by requiring that there must be unanimous decision on it, or is it simply on the determination by the Speaker? Because it appears to me that the majority would have wanted, to go in that way. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy with the guidance you've given in terms of what the House Business Committee did, because it is true that bills should not stay in committees forever, especially those that need to be fast-tracked. But when then they've taken the move and brought it to the floor of the House, I thought it's in keeping with that decision that it is moved fast, not to again stall it on the floor of the House. So I'm getting confused in terms of what the House Business Committee actually intended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, sorry, so no. What's your point of order? Honorable Shomwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, maybe just to inform my good friend and colleague, Honorable Tienda Molo. Leave of the House, Honorable Speaker, and I'll just read for him standing order number 2. Leave of the House means there being no objection by any member, either with the sympathy of the Speaker or with the support of at least 5 other members. And being a good and accomplished lawyer, and the standing orders are in very simple English, I thought it would be very easy for the Honorable Tende Amolo to understand that. But Honorable Speaker, on also to the chair of the committee, Honorable Speaker, it's completely out of order for the chair of the committee to be imputing improper motive on any member who has risen to his place, like the Honorable Owen Baya, to speak to some of the issues and the amendments. And the Honorable Chair is misleading the House that indeed amendments were in the report. And we know, Honorable Speaker, amendments become amendments of the House once they are approved by the office of the Speaker and published on the order paper. The amendments on this order paper are only published when this order paper was published last night. Therefore, it is completely misleading for the chair to be misleading the House and Kenyans out there who do not know that maybe the Honorable Owen Baya or any other member had not read the report. We read, and that is why members want time to be able to propose amendments and even to be able to offer your committee an opportunity to even do winnowing of some of the amendments that probably could be similar to the amendments that you have proposed here. Therefore, if, Honorable Speaker, now that the leave of the House has been denied, it is only fair that the chair ceases being too emotional on this matter and allows the House, because this legislation is to be legislated by the House, not by his committee, not by the member for Limuru. It is for posterity and for the benefit of Kenyans. He may not be aware that even members within his own committee are proposing further amendments to the committee's amendments. In fact, I was shocked when the Vice Chair, Honorable Gedi, behind here, was telling us that I never agreed. I never signed. I have not signed. And I don't know whether she has signed the report or not, or she was speaking in response to the issues that have been raised. But indeed, there are issues, Honorable Speaker, that the chair and the leader of majority must desist from rushing us into a process that will not be beneficial to the people of Kenya. And the issues of statelessness, as have been raised, don't just affect the people in Kilifi. I have constituents in Kabete, in Mugoga, some in the Honorable Muavi's constituency, the Shona community, that has now moved to Rironi, in Keno, here in Hurlingham, the Shona community is there, Honorable Speaker. And as much as we have addressed some of the issues that we do not want to be rushed into, unless you have other ulterior motives that you are not telling the people of Kenya.
Let me hear the member for Saku.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have had your guidance on this bill. I think this is not an ordinary bill. The content of this bill will have very serious ramifications on the Republic of Kenya and citizenry. If you just look at one clause, clause 70, it talks about rafts of issues. Registration of adoption, registration of marriages, public pension, registration of taxpayers, licensing of drivers, national health insurance, national social security, refugees and asylum seekers, public labor records. Honorable Speaker, I like the way you have stopped this thing. If you look at this House, it is not your doing. Most of the members are out in their constituencies campaigning. But when this law is passed, and some of them will come back to be members of this August House, they will have a raft of issues to deal with. For that reason, the bill no longer belongs to the Committee of Security. It belongs to the House. The House will decide on how to proceed. Mr. Speaker, while you have rushed them to bring the report, I think they should not rush us to pass the bill. The bill must be soberly debated, and some of the issues must be canvassed. The issue of citizenry is so important. For those of us who are coming from border communities, to get an ID card for even the son of Honorable Russell takes not less than 6 months. That is a lot of time. What about the ordinary citizen, John and Amina? It takes 2 years, 3 years. For that reason, Honorable Speaker, this is not an ordinary bill. This is about the Constitution, because people will go out there and under Chapter 6, under Bill of Rights, people are going to challenge this bill in a big way. And this House must proceed with caution. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Sankok, you said you are mentioned, but you appear to be comfortable. You are mentioned to have supported
adversely by Honorable Otiendo Omolo. And from his argument, if this is the type of lawyers that were promoting BBI, no wonder it was put null and void and unconstitutional.
Please,
Honorable Speaker, I sympathize.
Let's deal with the issues
with those who trusted him in BBI. So, Honorable Speaker, I was in this House when we were discussing, and we did not say that we don't support the Huduma bill. We are not saying that. We are saying that it was completed, the second reading was completed at 1:05. In fact, we went beyond the required time, the National Assembly time, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, from that time, and I think, Honorable Speaker, you should protect me from the majority leader, Honorable Kimunya from Kipiripiri. Let me assure you, I can only be guided by Honorable, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honorable, His Excellency Justin Muturi, but not any other hecklers around me. So from today onwards, allow me to be there. You cannot tell me, step down, talk like this. No, she telling me she as if I'm your girlfriend. Honorable Speaker, now, I was here and we support the bill. But I have said that when we have a second reading, it will enrich what will come up with in terms of a committee of the whole House. If it is only between 1 hour, when will we have the members' contribution so that we can enrich and we can use the members' contribution to come up with the amendment, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is very clear, according to our standing order, that the leave of the House can be, 124, can be denied only by one member with sympathy from the Speaker or one member supported by 5 other members. It did that. So why is Honorable Otiende want to amend our standing order when it is still not time? So, Honorable Speaker, I think you have ruled, and we like your ruling, and we thank you for that.
Now, let me hear from the member for Seme.
Speaker, the issue here was simple and straightforward. There was standing order that was quoted, and there was a process of providing leave of the House, and those process went on. Mr. Speaker, what is now happening, we are back to second reading of the bill. We are discussing the contents of the bill. This is not the time to discuss the contents of the bill. This is the time to go by the procedure of the House in terms of leave of the House and in terms of the standing order. And Mr. Speaker, what I'm seeing, there is some kind of institutional filibustering that is coming into this House, and people who know very well what should happen just want to buy time and stop important processes of going into the House. And Mr. Speaker, I think it's within your powers to actually curtail that. This matter, you finished it nearly half an hour ago. Why is still going on? Mr. Speaker, take charge of this and let the process be curtailed, and we go on with other duties of the House.
Now, you know, when the member for Kitui South.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, you gave us very good guidance, and you followed Standing Order 124, and we would like to appreciate the guidance. Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the Honorable Sankok to call us hecklers and says that these hecklers around me, Honorable Speaker, and also we have been following this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, some of our colleagues have been shouting to the Leader of Majority from seated where he is, they have been saying that they are being disturbed. Mr. Speaker, protect us from the leader of majority. And I've not seen the leader of majority doing anything. He has been seated on his seat and he has not done anything. Honorable Speaker, this is really, we are being mistreated, Honorable Speaker. And these members, especially the ones around the leader of majority, they are really harassing him, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am actually objecting us being called hecklers. Honorable Ichungwa is the one, Ichungwa is the one who is really shouting that, at his highest point, with the highest voice shouting that the leader of majority is harassing him even when he is quiet, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, we are not a class number one. And Mr. Speaker, you have been very kind. Please also protect us from these members, especially the ones who are seated around the leader of majority. Around us, Honorable Speaker. Here, this area, Honorable Speaker, is the worst.
Honorable Kaki Nyamai. Honorable Rachel Nyamai Kaki. You spoke very well, but I was waiting for you to go for what is normally called the killer punch, but you did not. I thought after explaining all what you did, you are going to demand or require that somebody be required to withdraw and apologize. But you have sat down, so no. Now, let me give the member for Wajir South. Wajir County, sorry.
Mr. Speaker, everybody had Sankok say hecklers. Mr. Speaker,
please, can I encourage you, honorable members?
Is he in order?
No, just a minute. I'm not going to. Don't. Honor members, can I encourage you to adopt the style of referring to each other as honorable members, so that that's how we will begin with the decorum. So that the member for Wajir County is the Honorable Fatuma Gedi. You know I religiously do that. So please,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, is Honorable Sankok in order to call us hecklers when he knows we are honorable members of this House? Can he withdraw or apologize, Mr. Speaker? Because we are not hecklers, we are honorable members of this House. Thank you.
Honorable Sankok. Honorable Sankok.
You are a bad teacher.
Can you withdraw? Did you refer to members around you as hecklers?
I never mentioned any member, Honorable Speaker. And a heckler is somebody who talks back at you when you are talking. And Honorable Kimunya have that habit of talking back to members when they are talking. When, Honorable Speaker, you gave me a chance to talk, he looked back and told me, shh. The last time we heard shh was people calling their girlfriend. So, Honorable Speaker, you should tell him not to talk back at us. Honorable Speaker, and
Honorable Sankok, all that, when it happens, you should raise it as a point of order. Now, to the extent that you refer to the members around you as hecklers, that is unparliamentary, and you should withdraw.
Honorable Speaker, because I respect you so much, Honorable Speaker, because
now, you know, Honorable Millie Odhiambo,
sure,
now, you cannot be shouting. Actually, you are shouting at the Honorable Sankok.
I've said,
Honorable Millie Odhiambo, please. What is good for the goose must be good for the gander.
Yes.
So now don't protect me when you are seated. Don't. Honorable Sankok, please proceed. Let's clear this.
Because of the respect that I have for you, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable, our Speaker, who have led us without any passion, with a lot of diligence, and with a wisdom that can only be equated with the biblical Solomonic wisdom. I withdraw whatever I said, and I apologize, because the facts are there, and I have withdrawn those facts so that I can massage their ego.
Now, are we not able to proceed? No, we can proceed with other business. No, let's not help him. No, don't help him, because if you help him, Honorable Duale, what?
No, Mr. Speaker, I really want to beg Honorable Sonkok that yes, you have a lot of respect for the Speaker, and based on that you are withdrawn. But you must also have respect for the standing order and for the dignity of the House. We want you to have dignity for the House. We respect, yes, we respect our Speaker, but the moment that the Speaker told you to withdraw, the Speaker represents the whole House. I really want to ask you humbly that you say, yes, I did it for the Speaker, but again, based on the respect I have for the House and for my colleagues, I withdraw and apologize. That's more better. It's more decent.
Now, you see, we are the tail end. Now, if one person raises a point of order, you can't also say you are right. And please.
I have respect for all honorable members. I withdraw and apologize.
That matter should now come to. No, I think let's leave this one. Now, this is my final instruction on this matter. Now, the way to seek to speak is to press the intervention button. But with regard to this matter, please, not when I'm. With regard to this matter, leave of the House have been denied. I also order that, Honorable Cheruiyot, if you want to talk to people on phone, go out. Now, this is mannerless. I will, honour members, I direct that the clerk will provide me with the proposed amendments, the proposed committee amendments, which I had not myself seen, so that I see whether to approve them as they are or direct otherwise. Because it is true that they were just put in the order paper, they have not passed through my office. I haven't seen, I haven't gone through. It's not right for me to just have them put here. I will have to approve them. That is the procedure. Yeah. So, please, you must have your card. I'm looking here, I don't see your card. Yes, Honorable Rosa Buyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to bring it to the Speaker's attention that we do not have the prerequisite quorum to continue with business. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, very well. Just count.
But we will continue with the fuel statement.
Do we have the? No sign. No sign by anybody. This lady doesn't move.
very historic day of your commissioning of the Ulinzi Sports Complex, the first of such facilities in the KDF. I would like, Your Excellency, on behalf of the entire KDF fraternity, to thank you for accepting our invitation to come and officiate in this commissioning, knowing very well that you have a very heavy schedule. We are most grateful, sir, for the valuable support that you have given us to get to this far in terms of resources and guidance. You have personally visited this particular facility since you broke ground on the 28th of October 2020. This complex, Your Excellency,